Indiana football is hosting CJ Baxter, the Texas running back transfer, this weekend in Bloomington. And if he commits, he could be the starting running back next season.
You are Locked On Hoosiers, your daily podcast on the Indiana Hoosiers. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome in. It is the Locked On Hoosiers podcast. I'm your man, Jacob Goins. I appreciate you being here, making this your first listen or your first watch every single day. We are part of the Locked On Podcast Network, which is your team every day and the nation's #1 sports podcasting network. And thank you for spending your Sunday with us if you're watching or listening to this on the day that it comes out. And big news for Indiana football. We'll talk about 2027 high school recruits that Indiana picked up on Saturday and how Curt Cignetti and his staff need to be trusted in every single recruit that they pick up, just from a talent acquisition and really a talent scouting standpoint as well. But Indiana's hosting one of the biggest names in the transfer portal on campus this weekend, and it's the Texas running back CJ Baxter. And I want to go ahead and preface this by saying news could break at any time. I'm trying to get an episode out to talk about the possibility of him coming to Indiana, but I feel pretty good about the Hoosiers in this battle. Seems to be an Indiana lead. I know Colorado and Kentucky are involved, but the big reports from the guys like Hayes Fawcett, Pete Nakos, are that Indiana's in the lead for CJ Baxter. He was on campus on Saturday. He's also on campus on Sunday, and I think he's one of the better running back options in the transfer portal. The guy that has played several seasons. Okay, he missed most of 2024, or I think actually he missed all of 2024 with an injury. 2023 was a good year for him. Ran for almost 700 yards there at Texas, had 5 touchdowns on 138 carries. He was really in the mix, in the fold there. Missed the 2024 season due to an injury in the fall, and then came back in 2025. And I don't want to say that he was kind of, left in the dust, but he definitely wasn't their first option. And I think he just got overshadowed a little bit there at Texas. 54 carries, almost 200 yards, but had no touchdowns. And so you are taking a risk, yes, but I think that the risk is warranted. I think you can see the potential that he has. Runs very hard, can run between the tackles, can bounce on the outside. He's speedy in the open field. He's not afraid to hit somebody. And I'll tell you why I like him as an option for Indiana for something in particular. He can catch the football out of the backfield. And you feel like that's a growing, developing skill for running backs now. Back in the day, they didn't catch passes. They didn't go on wheel routes. They weren't the dump down option. They were there to block or run the football. But now you're starting to see that develop a little bit more. And I think Indiana's a big reason for that, for guys like Roman Hemby and Kalon Black, who are huge weapons in the passing game for this current Indiana team that's about to play Miami in the national championship game. And so the idea that he's got 36 catches in his career for almost 200 yards and he's got a touchdown as well, that is exciting to me, that he at least has the ability, he has the knowledge, and he has the know about to be a part of the passing game. And so Indiana's hosting him this weekend, and I think the running back room is still looking for somebody like this, obviously, or else they wouldn't be hosting the guy on campus this weekend, because you've already brought in one, right? We know the idea that you have already brought in one transfer from the portal in Turbo Richard, the Boston College transfer. And I really like him. I do. I like what Turbo Richard is going to bring to this team. But how about this? Both of those guys just completed their sophomore season and have several years of eligibility remaining. You add that with Lee Beebe Jr., who's coming off the injury from this season, and Khobie Martin, the standout freshman. You go get CJ Baxter, and your running back room is good. You're done. You're ready to go for the 2026 season. And I think you bring Turbo Richard in, who's already committed and signed. And if you were to land CJ Baxter from Texas, I think you have a legitimate battle. Could CJ Baxter be the starter? Absolutely. Could Turbo Richard be the starter? Absolutely. But I think you bring him in, you've got serious competition. And don't count out Khobie Martin either, because I don't want it to come off as I'm just writing him off because he's a youngster. He has every chance to be the starter in Bloomington in that running back rotation. But even if you're not the starter, we know what Indiana is good at, and that's rotating backs. That's getting somebody in every 3 or 4 plays and not wearing somebody out and running them into the ground. That's what makes Indiana's offense so special, and that's why P4 running backs are wanting to come to Bloomington, Indiana. So keep your eyes out on CJ Baxter. I feel good about this. I really do think Indiana pulls this off, and if you don't have confidence in that for whatever reason, how many players have you heard about in recent memory that have come on a visit, whether they're a high school recruit or especially right now in the hot stretch that we are in the transfer portal? How many players come on a visit to Indiana and then end up going somewhere else? Not many. We're not 100%. We're not batting 100, but Indiana's got 2 Hall of Fame careers in batting average going right now. I feel good about CJ Baxter visiting this weekend. Who knows how long until we hear some news, but I feel really good about Indiana landing him, and that would boost the running back room big time for the 2026 season. And while the transfer portal is rocking and rolling for the Hoosiers, so is high school football recruiting. 3 big commits over the weekend. We talk about that coming up next on this bonus episode of Locked On Hoosiers. Today's episode of Locked On Hoosiers, this bonus episode, is brought to you by FanDuel. The wild card round is here, and FanDuel is officially in playoff mode. Every game day during the NFL playoffs, FanDuel is giving customers even more ways to get in on the action. Because right now, every NFL playoff game day, like right now, we're coming up on Monday as well, FanDuel users can get a profit boost pack waiting for them inside the app. Each game day, you'll see a pack loaded with multiple profit boosts that you can apply to the bets that you like the most. So if you like a quarterback, if you like a running back, hey, maybe you like a kicker. Been there, done that. You can bet on those guys too, and you can get a little bit more juice on the bets that you already like instead of forcing to bet something new. So make your picks and apply your profit boost to go after even bigger payouts while the playoffs get rolling. So visit FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the NFL, and grab your profit boost pack every NFL playoff game day. This bonus episode of Locked On Hoosiers also brought to you by Wayfair. The new year is here, and it's the perfect time to reset your routine and refresh your space. If you're spending more time at home, you might as well love how it looks and feels, right? That's why you should turn to Wayfair. It's a one-stop shop for getting your home back on track. From bedding and mattresses to storage solutions for every room, Wayfair makes it easy to start your year fresh. Wayfair has everything you need for a full home refresh all in one place. Whether you're updating your living room, organizing your space, or upgrading your work from home setup, Wayfair's huge selection makes it easy to find exactly what works for your style and your budget. So if you're looking to replace that old TV stand, or you think you need a new mattress, or you think you need, I don't know, a new dresser or something, whatever the case may be, go on Wayfair and check out their thousands and thousands of options, man. You will be on there for hours if you do it. And that's a good thing because they have such a great selection. So get organized, refreshed, and back on track this new year for way less. Head to wayfair.com right now to shop all things home. That's WAYFAIR.com. Wayfair, every style, every home. All right, welcome back into this bonus episode of Locked On Hoosiers. Appreciate you being here. Again, making this your go-to spot for all things Indiana athletics. And I know Saturday, we were a little non-existent. Apologies there in terms of the recruiting news and the basketball game, which, oh, God, we'll talk about the basketball game at some point for Indiana and Nebraska. But I had some stuff going on, had some friends in town, and so was able to kind of take the day and relax. So I appreciate your understanding there. But we're back. We're back in the rotation. We're back in the rhythm as we have so much happening for the Indiana Hoosiers. And I do want to talk about what happened on Saturday with the 3 verbal commits in 2027, right? Right now is so busy with the transfer portal, and that's what everybody's hype is. That's what everybody's looking for. That's what everybody's wanting to hear and see new news, right? But we forget that Indiana still got to recruit some high school kids, and Indiana still wants to recruit some high school kids, and you should be excited about the ones that they went and got on Saturday. 3 of them we need to talk about, all for the class of 2027 in high school football recruiting. And we start with Jahide Brown, the wide receiver from the state of Kentucky. Class of 2027, 5'11", 180 pounds. He's from Louisville, Kentucky, and committed to Indiana over a lot of big schools. I mean, a guy that had several offers in around the P4. You're talking offers from the Big 10, from the Big 12, from the ACC, from the SEC. I mean, teams like Alabama offered this guy, Oklahoma offered this guy. You had teams like Wisconsin and Maryland offered this guy. And yes, he's a 3-star, but I think he's uber talented. Somebody whose stats jump off the page, had over 1,500 yards, okay, in his junior season. Just somebody that you can't miss him, right? 1,500 yards and 24 receiving touchdowns. Like, that's just absurd for this guy. And so I'm going to rapid fire these. 3-star receiver out of the state of Kentucky, will stay in the state of Kentucky. I want to talk about this guy as well. You get an athlete as a 3-star in the 27 class, Garyon Hobbs. All right, he's from the state of Kentucky as well. He's 5'11", 198 pounds. He's also from Louisville and is from the same school as the one we just talked about, who also had big time offers from Big Ten schools like Michigan State and Wisconsin and Michigan. SEC offers from Missouri and Kentucky and Oklahoma. Notre Dame offered this guy, and a lot of the smaller schools as well. And so one that Indiana is excited about. He's going to play the defensive side of the football, is what Indiana is going after him for. He talked about Bryant Haynes. He talked about the idea that just the facilities and the staff and everything. And I expect him to play that side of the football as a DB. We'll see what they decide to do with him. And it's fascinating looking at him, again, a 3-star out of the state of Kentucky. And we'll go to the last one because you have 2 athletes and a true receiver that you have picked up in this recruiting surge, I guess, if you want, over the weekend, because you also landed an athlete from the state of Ohio in Monsanna Torbert, another 3-star that Indiana went after and they got, who plays both sides of the football, plays receiver and plays defensive back. I believe that Indiana is recruiting him to play corner, but if it doesn't work out or that room is too loaded or you just see the receiver ability, you can play Monsanna Torbert on the offensive side of the football as well. 5'10", 158 pounds from Cincinnati at Princeton High School, very well known. He is the 12th best player in the state of Ohio, according to 247. Had offers from the Big Ten, from the SEC. You've seen a trend there for the Indiana Hoosiers. And here's what I want to say about all these guys. They look great on film. They're coming into an early recruiting class for 2027 that I think Indiana will feel pretty good about by the time it's all said and done. Also talked about being an Ohio kid. He had quotes about how Indiana beating Ohio State in the Big Ten championship game was something that kind of sold him on the Hoosiers. So if you think that games and results don't matter to recruits, think again. Monsanna Torbert's a perfect example. But I don't want fans to get too caught up in the rankings, too caught up in the stars, too caught up in, oh, he's only the 12th best player in Ohio, blah, blah, blah. Seriously? Aren't we past that by now? Aren't we over that by now? Especially with Indiana, of all places, of all coaches and all coaching staffs. Aren't we over the idea of living and dying by your recruiting ranking and how many stars that some random writer puts next to your name because they feel good about it or don't feel good about it? Let's feel good about Indiana. Let's feel good and confident and support what Indiana's coaching staff is doing. Are you saying that you don't trust Curt Cignetti and his talent evaluation? Are you saying that you don't trust Bryant Haynes and Mike Shanahan and their talent evaluation? This is what Indiana does. They go get dudes that not everybody else wants. A lot of teams do, but not everybody else. And now that Indiana can walk in the door and flash its logo and say, yeah, here we are, big dogs in town, and people want to come play here. But they go after kids that make sense. They go after kids that fit their system. They go after kids that produce and who can be good at IU. They don't care if you can be good somewhere else. They want you to be good at Indiana, and that's why they go after you. So very excited about these 3 kids. We'll do more of a deep dive on them in the 27 class, especially as it develops over the next several weeks, several months. I mean, we are talking about guys that are still wrapping up their junior year of high school and going into their senior season. So more on that as we go, but wanted to shout those guys out and highlight that happened over the weekend. So thank you so much for being here on this bonus episode of Locked On Hoosiers. Again, we might have news break today. You never know. And if we do, we're going to have you covered right here on the Locked On Hoosiers podcast. So make sure you subscribe on YouTube. You follow us on your audio podcasting platform so you never miss any new episodes of Locked On Hoosiers. Okay. We'll have a normal episode coming up tomorrow, Hoosier fans, and any breaking news, we've got you covered. So until then, Hoosier fans, stay safe, and I'll talk to you later.